Okay, so I started the recording. So I am here with one of my lovely and wonderful clients, Jana Lee, and I just wanted to talk with her about her experience. So Jana Lee, why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
My name is Jana Lee, as you said, and I live in Toronto, and I'm 41 years old.
Which is like unbelievable because you're so gorgeous. So I want to ask you a little bit about the experience of us working together and what that was like for you. And the first thing I want to ask you is what was it that and what was happening in your life that inspired you to connect with me?
Okay. I was frustrated with my love life. I hadn't been on a date in a number of years. And when I reached out to you, it was kind of funny because I had gotten asked for a date, but the situation was he asked to take me out to the food court, and I was like, I'm tired of the food court.
You were like, this is not gonna work.
Not it. I'm done. There's gotta be something better out there. So I was frustrated, and I was ready for a change. I was ready for a change.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in your because we had connected through Facebook, and I saw that in your comment, and I was like, oh, I can help her. Let me reach out to her. Yeah, so that was great. So what is it in your life, or let me ask you first, what kinds of reservations did you maybe have about working with a love coach?
Initially, when I saw your profile, actually, I thought that you only worked with people who were already in relationships. And I wasn't sure if you could help me in that way. But then I also felt that I would be a tough case because I had a lot of, I would say, anger, and built up resentment and unanswered questions that I wanted all to be resolved. And I didn't think that everybody could handle that. Mm-hmm. So that was my initial reservation. I actually remember thinking that I don't know if Carisa is ready because, I'm going to be a lot. I will cooperate, but I'm going to question. So I wasn't sure if you'd be ready. And I know not every coach could handle that.
Yeah. And then how did you feel about that as we started working together more?
I was pleasantly surprised. First of all, the connection that we had just off the bat was amazing, just that made me feel comfortable. I wasn't sure where we were going, but the advice that you gave was always relevant. It was timely, and it resonated. For me, that was the main thing. It resonated with me. It made sense. Mm-hmm. And as we started to go through the tough things that I was worried about, it wasn't tough on you. You were there. You were there all the way through the process. And I felt that. I felt that safety. I felt, I knew that you were going to carry me all the way through. I felt that trust. So I was pleasantly surprised is kind of an understatement. I was thrilled, just to have that. I knew that I could rely on you. I knew that even if I was tough, you'd still be there. And I didn't expect that.
Yeah. You were tough sometimes, but you were not tough like for no reason. You had things in there that we needed to just look at, and that's a natural thing to feel like, I don't know if they're going to be able to handle this, to come into it. And a lot of times, especially like we as women feel like even when we're coming to someone who's supposed to support us, we feel like, uh-oh, should we take care of them? Like we feel like we need to take care of them. And yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So what's different in your life now?
Well, I'm dating somebody, and he hasn't taken me to the food court yet.
Has he even brought it up? That's good.
Never been to the food court. It has never been suggested. It's lovely. It's nice.
Points for him.
We made a list of the things that I was looking for, and he checks off so many of the boxes. And it's great because I never thought, it's been 4 years since my last relationship, 4 years since I met somebody even, that I would even consider. I didn't think that it was going to happen again, because prior to that, it had been, I think, a good 7 years before I, even met him. So I was like, there are no men in this city. No, there's nobody worth dating in this city.
I remember that was really strong for you. You were like, I'm not their type if they are around here. And then, yeah.
Exactly. So for me to be in a situation where I'm actually dating somebody who I really like, it's early yet, but it feels good, because for me it represents a huge accomplishment, a huge shift in me.
Yeah.
That
absolutely.
Find somebody who I want to be with,
Well, you attracted him. We worked together. We worked together to clear the blocks, but your magnetism was there already. There were just some things in the way. And it was really just about helping you remember who you are already. That's my whole job. It was just helping you come back to you. It wasn't like, it was funny because when you emailed me and you were like, hey, I have some bad news because I've got to cancel this session. But the good news is it's because I think he's here. I was like, that's great.
Email felt good. I was like, should I tell her? Of course I gotta tell her.
You better tell me.
Of course I gotta tell her. So it feels good. It feels good to be able to say that I'm dating somebody who I'm really interested. I'm interested to see where it goes.
Yeah. So what was your favorite part, do you think, of the experience of working together?
As I said, the first thing was the connection that we had, and the fact that we had a trust. Mm-hmm. But I think where I felt the biggest shift was in removing the blocks.
Yeah.
I had some built up resentment and negative thinking and just a lot of negativity that I was repeating over and over, and I just took it for fact. Mm-hmm. And when we did those sessions, I noticed that those negative thoughts that were always repeating in my head anytime I thought about dating were not there anymore. It just disappeared. It was as if I'd never thought those thoughts, from going to always thinking them to it never coming up. It was like, what's happening here? It was a huge shift. It was a huge shift. And I couldn't believe how almost simple it was to just make that leap. It was a quantum leap for me.
Yeah.
So that to me was my favorite part of working with you. I saw the biggest transformation when we started to remove those blocks.
Yeah. That's a powerful part. That's a really big, for a lot of people, that's the transformation shift right there. And there was something different in your energy after that I could feel too. Did you notice how there was that period of time where we did the shift, and then it was a couple of months before he actually came in?
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that time and what it was like because that's usually the hardest time for people, and they don't understand, like, what would you say to somebody who's going through that time period, and how they could be supported?
Okay. So we did the removal of the blocks, and I felt the shift. And instead, at the beginning when I was working with you, I would feel hopeful after our sessions,
Mm-hmm.
and it would kind of decline and fade away.
Mm-hmm.
But then after I did the removal of the blocks, I still felt hopeful. It didn't decline like it used to.
Mm-hmm.
I could hold on to that hope.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if somebody's in that space, to really nurture that feeling of hope, because that will carry them through. I felt a yes when it came to thinking about this guy coming.
Yeah.
The only thing is that I wanted it now.
Right, because everybody does.
No, I want him to come now. So
Yeah.
I think that was the main difference, is that, there was an element of patience, and also of, I know he's coming, and just kind of letting that go,
Yeah. Yeah.
and going about my day and letting other things happen. But instead of that negativity that I always had, is that, he's not here, where, why hasn't he turned up?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, he's coming. Anytime I think about it, yes, he's coming.
Yeah.
And I was able to just, not hold on to it so tightly like I was before.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the advice I would have, is to remain in that space of hope.
Yeah.
That he is on his way. And that block removal really helps. And the thing that also helped was the meditations that you did, where you created scenarios that were so rich and that were so visual and tactile that it made it feel real for me. So that helped a whole lot, because I could go back into that space and feel, yes, he's actually here. So I would, if I were to advise anybody, just to remain in that space of, yes.
Yeah.
He's here. I just haven't met him yet, but he's here.
But he's here. He's already here. Well, that is so, so wonderful. Thank you so much. I guess the only other thing that I would ask is, what would you say to somebody who is maybe on the fence with working with me, so that they can bring love into their life, and they're like about to, but they're not sure if it's for them? What would you say to them?
The first thing I would say is, just talking to you, I know that I was convinced that you were on my side. Just that initial conversation, I knew that it wasn't about, there's some coaches who have this vibe of, okay, I just want the business. That's not what it's about for you.
Yeah.
You're about your client. You're about that individual person and caring for that individual person. So the first thing I would just say is just to talk to you, and to see if you feel that sincerity and that caring the way that I did. To me, that's the number one thing when working with somebody, is that they care about you in what they're trying to help you with. And I can guarantee 100% is that you will feel that sense of caring that I felt. And that carries throughout. It doesn't diminish. It carries throughout the whole process. And so I would just recommend having a conversation and seeing if they feel like you would take care of them.
You just are just filling up my heart with so much right now. Thank you so much. Thank you for your words, and thank you for being willing to record this for people that might be wondering if it's for them and different things, because you never know who just needs to hear from somebody the words that help them to reach out to have the life that they want, the love life that they want for themselves. There's always this moment where it's like you have a choice. You have a choice. And if you think about how you want things to look for you in the future, it always comes back to this one moment of what you decide to do. And so thank you for sharing those words with me and for all of the women who need to hear what you said, because they need to know that there is a solution, even if they didn't think there was.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's where I was. I thought there was no solution. And the fact that you came into my life was a big sign that there was, because I didn't see it happening. I thought I was going to have to move. I was getting ready to move, you know? So that.
Well, you did everything. You did that. Like, you created it. Because even, like I was telling you the other day, like, even as much as I appreciate everything, and I don't take it lightly at all, but as much as you, or say thank you to me, it's really that you made these shifts. Like, you did it. Because even if you think of it like, oh, I helped you make the shifts, who called me in? It's really like,
I'm that food court guy. I am actually very thankful.
that food court guy was a catalyst for change in your life.
Catalyst, so I can't.
You didn't know it at the time, but he was a sign of land.
I really.
Well, my dear, thank you so much. I appreciate all of your kind words, and just thank you. It has been really an honor working with you. And my hope, the hope in my heart, is that you won't need me anymore.
And you.
And then we're just friends. So that's
come and visit. That's all.
What was that?
Just have to come and visit.
That's right. We will visit. All right.
It's a pleasure. It's been just one of the best things I've done. It's been a pleasure.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you.